1917, a phenomenal World War I movie, up there with Band of Brothers, The Pacific, Flags of Our Fathers, Letters to Iwo Jima, all those great war films that we grew up watching. It is up there, and let me explain why. The premise is pretty simple. The British are pushing the German troops back, but they're working off old intel, where they think they're going to take victory, but they're walking into an ambush. So the general calls 2 soldiers in to deliver a message that's going to take all day. It's about 9 miles, according to the film, to travel by foot to deliver this message to this unit that's going to make an attack in the next day, next morning. Now, what's riveting about this story is that one of those soldiers, he has an older brother who's an officer, a lieutenant in this unit. So it gives him more incentive, obviously, to go deliver this message. Now, the plot's pretty simple. They have to go through enemy territory, and the intensity and tension you feel throughout this entire film is insane. It's never ending. You never feel like these soldiers are going to be safe until they make it to that unit. Now, the plot is great. It's awesome. Great story. It shows all the World War I horrors, which, as an audience member, most people do not know how rough World War I trench warfare was, but you will experience that through these men in this film. There was one scene very near to the beginning where they have to go into a German bunker, which is wired up with tripwires, and you see a rat scurrying across in that basement or in that bunker. Your heart will be pounding so hard for these guys to make it out safely. That scene is so well shot. And going into the filmography, Roger Deakins, who did the cinematography, did an excellent job with this one shot look. The film is edited to look like there's no breaks at all in the film. So what that means is that there are no cutscenes, there's no breaks to any other characters. It stays on these characters the entire time. So you can appreciate it on that front, that all these scenes taking place over the day, night, and then next morning, they had to wait to make sure that there was cloud coverage covering the sun at that specific time to film that scene. Or they had to wait till nightfall, evening, to film this scene, because it goes along with the entire day of them traveling through enemy territory. So the filmography is phenomenal, and it better win an Oscar for the Oscars 2019. And if you're watching this in the future, we already know the answer to that. Now, going into the action, it's not going to be as brutal as, say, Saving Private Ryan or Band of Brothers, but it is there. Explosions, gunshots, but that's just baked into a World War I movie. Now, Sam Mendes' vision for this film is more likely along the lines of showing this awesome story and what they had to go through in World War I. This film does not hold any bars on anything. And you see that within the first couple minutes when they go on their mission. For instance, one of the characters, he cuts his hand on the barbed wire, and literally a minute later, he puts his hand into the corpse of a dead Ally soldier. It's pretty disgusting, but it gets the message across that this is a time when they did not have antibiotics, they did not have vaccines, so you can kind of feel for them on that front that this is a rough time for everybody. The main focus of the film is to show how terrifying World War I was from these 2 young men's point of view, who, by the way, look like they're barely in their 20s. So that I kind of feel for them during the entire film. But this movie it captured war in that third person point of view that you can appreciate the sacrifices that these men made in the past. And there are many scenes where you see dead Allied bodies laying around in craters, and you realize, dang, all this fighting, and even the men in the movie think that all this fighting is all for naught. Even one of them says, all this fighting just for a bit of land, and they're just all so tired of it. Anyways, 1917, phenomenal film. Everyone should be given a watch. It should be a mandatory watch. It's probably going to win many Oscars. 1917, 9.5 out of 10.